You've probably heard about Picoin, maybe from a friend casually mentioning it, or perhaps you stumbled upon it while browsing online cryptocurrency news. It's been generating quite a buzz in the digital currency space. But what is it really? What's all the hype about? Is it just another flash-in-the-pan cryptocurrency, or is there something more substantial behind it? Imagine earning cryptocurrency simply by tapping a button on your phone once a day. It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? A digital currency that you can mine without needing any specialized equipment, no expensive computers needed. Forget about investing in costly mining rigs that take up space and consume massive amounts of electricity. And definitely no complex software to configure or maintain. You don't need to be a tech whiz to participate in the PI network. Best of all, it doesn't drain your battery. You can continue using your phone as normal without worrying about Pi mining impacting its performance. That's the Pi network, a project conceptualized and created by Stanford University graduates. Their mission is to make cryptocurrency accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical expertise or financial resources. Their ultimate goal? To build the world's most inclusive peer-to-peer marketplace, a decentralized ecosystem where anyone can participate. This marketplace will be powered by a digital currency that anyone with a smartphone can easily earn and use. The process to get started is remarkably simple. First, download the Pi Network app from your app store. Then create an account, which only takes a few minutes. Finally, tap a lightning bolt icon within the app every 24 hours to prove you're an active and real user. Once you've done that, you start mining Pi. Though it's important to note that this process is fundamentally different from traditional Bitcoin mining. Pi utilizes the Stellar Consensus Protocol, a consensus algorithm that is significantly more energy efficient than Bitcoin's proof-of-work system. By participating, you're not just earning Pi, you're also securing your spot in the network and contributing to building its overall trust graph. Unlike many cryptocurrencies that launch directly on exchanges and often chase short-term hype and speculative trading, Pi Network has taken a different approach, focusing on building a strong and engaged community first and foremost. And that community is massive, boasting over 55 million users worldwide. So, the big question that everyone's asking is, when will Pi actually have real-world value? When will you be able to use your Pi to buy a cup of coffee or pay for other everyday goods and services? Currently, Pi is in what's called an enclosed mainnet phase. This means that the Pi blockchain is indeed live and operational, but it's currently protected by a firewall to control access and ensure stability. As a result, you can't yet trade Pi on major cryptocurrency exchanges. However, pioneers who have successfully completed the KYC, Know Your Customer verification process, are able to transfer Pi to other verified users within the PI ecosystem. They can also use their Pi within various applications that are being developed within the PI network ecosystem. This current phase is primarily focused on rigorous testing, ongoing development, and refining the overall user experience. All of this is happening before the network is fully open to the public. It's a deliberate and methodical process, carefully planned and executed to ensure a stable and successful launch in the long run. The project's overall approach to cryptocurrency development is radically different from many other projects in the space. They're prioritizing community building first, with the expectation that real-world value will follow as the ecosystem matures. And that's precisely why Pi Network is one of the most talked about and closely watched projects in the entire cryptocurrency world. The global community is eagerly watching to see whether this unique experiment in decentralized currency will ultimately pay off and reshape the future of digital finance. Let's get straight to the heart of the matter, the price. We all want to know where things are heading, and the recent movements have been quite interesting. Recently, Pi Coin's IOU price experienced a notable jump of 6%. This is a development worth paying attention to, especially if you've been following Pi Network. This increase occurred in a relatively short time frame, indicating a rapid shift in market sentiment. Of course, some cryptocurrencies are known for their volatile nature and can move even faster, but for Pi, which has been relatively stable, this is a significant move. It's crucial to remember that Pi is not yet officially traded on major exchanges. This is a key point to keep in mind as we analyze these price movements. The prices we're discussing are specifically for IOU tokens, which represent a promise to deliver Pi coin once it launches. These IOUs are traded on smaller, less prominent exchanges, and it's important to understand that they don't represent the actual live Pi coin. They are not the real thing. Nevertheless, a 6% surge in the IOU price is a noteworthy event. It signals a growing sense of anticipation within the community and among potential investors. This price movement reflects a growing belief in the long-term potential and future success of the Pi network. It's similar to how a company's stock price might rise in anticipation of a major product launch. Investors are betting on future success. This pre-launch excitement is often driven by a combination of hype surrounding the project and genuine hope for its future impact. Currently, the IOU price is hovering around the $40 mark, a level that has attracted considerable attention. You can observe these IOU prices on platforms like HTX and Bitmart, among other smaller exchanges. However, it's essential to heed the warnings from the Pi core team, who consistently stress that these are not official prices. They reiterate that real Pi coin is not yet available on the open market for trading. Despite this, the cryptocurrency market is inherently forward-looking, always trying to anticipate future value. These IOU prices offer a potential glimpse into what people might be willing to pay once Pi coin is officially launched and available for trading. For the millions of pioneers who have dedicated time and effort to the Pi network, this price surge serves as a form of validation. It comes after years of patiently waiting for the project to reach this stage. It's a welcome shot of hope, providing tangible evidence that their patience and early involvement might eventually pay off. In the early days, many were ridiculed for dedicating resources to mining a coin that seemingly had no value. But now, there's an actual number associated with Pi, something concrete to point to as a measure of its potential value. The long-held dream of Pi becoming a widely adopted global currency feels a little bit closer to reality. And that excitement is undeniably contagious, spreading rapidly throughout the Pi community and beyond. Even a relatively small movement in price can have a significant impact, energizing and motivating a massive community of users. At this stage, it's not solely about the monetary value in dollars, it's more about the underlying belief in the project's vision and potential. And currently, that belief is demonstrably on the rise, fueled by these positive price movements and the anticipation of the official launch. The global cryptocurrency community and the wider financial world are watching closely to see what unfolds next for Pi Network. So why all the buzz now? The biggest reason: progress toward the open mainnet launch. The Pi core team has been ramping up KYC, migrating users, and building a real ecosystem of apps. Recent updates suggest these milestones are within reach. Developers are launching real apps, marketplaces, games, even social platforms inside the Pi ecosystem. Each new app adds real utility, making Pi more than just a speculative token. Millions of wallets now hold transferable Pi, showing the network is maturing. Crypto news outlets and influencers are finally taking notice, bringing in new waves of interest. And after 5 years of suspense, every update gets amplified by the massive community. The anticipation is feeding a feedback loop. More hype, more price action, more attention. Pi's long wait is building up to a major moment. The world is ready for the next phase. Pi's real superpower isn't just about the underlying technology or innovative algorithms, it's the vibrant and dedicated community that fuels its growth and potential. This community is the heart and soul of the Pi network. Over 55 million users joined before Pi even hit a public exchange, demonstrating a belief in the project's vision long before any potential financial gains. This early adoption speaks volumes about the community's commitment. Instead of spending millions on traditional marketing campaigns, Pi grew organically through grassroots referrals and viral loops, leveraging the power of its community to spread awareness. This created a powerful global network effect. The more users that join, the more valuable the network becomes for everyone involved. This is a fundamental principle of network economics. With millions of users already ready to use and accept Pi as a form of currency, there's a robust and built-in economy just waiting for the opportune moment to launch and flourish. The community isn't solely comprised of speculators looking for quick profits. They're also potential future customers, forward-thinking merchants, and talented developers who are actively contributing to the Pi ecosystem. They run nodes to support the network, build innovative apps to expand its functionality, moderate forums to foster constructive discussions, and enthusiastically spread the word about Pi to their networks. This high level of active engagement is relatively rare within the often volatile world of cryptocurrency. It's a passionate and remarkably resilient base that's remained committed to Pi through years of ongoing development and refinement. When mainnet finally opens, there's already a dedicated army of users ready and eager to use and actively promote the currency. Compare that to the fate of many other cryptocurrencies and altcoins, where initial hype quickly fades away and the once vibrant communities eventually vanish into obscurity. Pi's community is uniquely invested for the long haul, demonstrating a level of commitment rarely seen. That provides a remarkably stable foundation, paving the way for genuine and widespread adoption. When millions of people genuinely want a project to succeed, their collective effort transforms it into a powerful force to be reckoned with. Pi's strong and supportive community could very well be the key to overcoming any potential obstacles and ultimately driving the global adoption of Pi as a mainstream digital currency. And that's precisely what sets Pi apart from the vast majority of other cryptocurrencies in the market today. Pi isn't trying to be Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's not digital gold or a supercomputer. It's aiming to be a global medium of exchange. Think PayPal or Visa, but decentralized and user-owned. Pi's focus on usability and mass adoption sets it apart from thousands of speculative coins. By staying in its enclosed mainnet, Pi avoided wild price swings and built real utility. This walled garden gave the ecosystem time to grow before facing public market chaos. If Pi launches with a huge user base and working apps, it could skip the hype phase and go straight to real-world use. Imagine a payment system launching overnight with 55 million users. That's unprecedented. And it's why optimism is rising. Of course, the risk is that Pi's slow approach could make it obsolete before launch. But for now, the market seems to believe the tortoise might win this race. Let's talk numbers. Pi's IOU trades around $40, but what about the real coin? Could Pi actually reach 50 cents after launch? The total supply is capped at 100 billion coins, with about 65 billion for pioneers. At 50 cents, that's a $32.5 billion market cap, top 10 in crypto. Bulls say Pi's massive user base and real-world focus could justify that price. If meme coins can hit $40 billion, why not Pi? The network effect could create real demand. But bears warn most Pi was mined for free, so a flood of selling could crash the price. If millions cash out on day one, 50 cents might be a fantasy. The real value will depend on how many hold, use, or sell. Pi's price could soar or sink when the mainnet opens. The debate is just getting started. To gauge Pi's pulse, look at its forums and social channels. Excitement is high after the recent price surge. Pioneers are sharing charts and celebrating. For many, it's about more than money. It's about being part of a movement. Some are already trading Pi for goods and services in online marketplaces. There's debate over the global consensus value. Some dream of astronomical prices. Others are more realistic. Not everyone is a believer. Frustration over delays is common. Critics demand a firm launch date and warn that Pi's value is still theoretical. The 50-cent price point is hotly debated. Some see it as a stepping stone, others as a ceiling. The community is a mix of hope, skepticism, and endless speculation. This internal debate keeps things grounded. Pi's future will be shaped by both its optimists and its critics. Why be optimistic about Pi? 3 reasons: community, utility, and distribution. First, the 55 million strong user base is a moat no rival can match. Even a fraction using Pi for transactions could spark massive economic activity. Second, real utility is emerging. Apps, marketplaces, and games are being built on Pi. If this ecosystem grows, Pi could become the currency of a new decentralized internet. Third, Pi's wide distribution means ownership isn't concentrated in a few hands. Millions of pioneers worldwide own Pi, making for a stable, resilient economy. Businesses integrating Pi tap into a truly global customer base. The recent price surge could be the market waking up to this potential. If Pi converts its community into active users, 50 cents could be just the beginning. The journey is only getting started. But let's not ignore the risks. The biggest concern: endless delays. 5 years in,